Well, a quick heads up that this is really based on, as I say, aspiring therapists, because today, this very moment of recording, 21 years ago, this very moment, I was handed a certificate of being and passing and being graded as a master hypnotist. And in the last 21 years, well, the adventure has been absolutely awesome. And I just wanted to share 2, 3, maybe 4 bits of things that I've learned that I hope that you take them on now. You're going to have even a better way of being in this wonderful world of change work. Hope you do.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, my friends, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. And as you know, I do love hypnosis and NLP. In fact, that's what I do, I guess. And today, this very day, probably, well, it's just coming up to about just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, was probably just about the same time, 21 years ago, a whole 21 years ago, that I was certified as a master hypnotist. And I've been doing that and NLP and all sorts of things for 21 years, going through from master hypnotist to a practitioner of NLP, a practitioner of timeline therapy, a master practitioner of NLP, a master practitioner of timeline therapy, and then a trainer of NLP, and a few little bits on the side of that as well. So I can't believe it's been 21 years and all the things that have happened since and in between, well, not since, in between that time. You know, all the clients I've seen, all the different people I've met. It's been absolutely awesome. And I just wanted to, just for a few moments, to share a couple of things that I learned along the way. And I think they're really important. And I think I learned them the hard way in front of clients. And I changed the way I worked. And I changed the way I worked for the better. Because at the very beginning, I was really, really into everything hypnosis. Hypnosis could cure the world. I was going to try to learn every different process there was. Though, that's not necessary, Paul. I didn't find that out till later. But that's what I'm going to share with you today. You see, there are so many... Well, first of all, one of those wonderful beliefs that we have when we start this little adventure of being a therapist is, well, I don't know enough. I'm not really experienced enough. I can't work with people. You know, I'm not confident. I'm just not confident enough to use what I know. Well, I'm here to dispel that, because I don't know enough. Yes, you do. If you've been to a good training, you know enough. If you've been to a good training, you're experienced enough. And if you master what you know, become a master of what you know, then you can be confident enough, because mastery is knowing what you do and doing what you know. And if you only, and I say only, have a firm foundation in hypnosis and NLP, or just hypnosis, or whichever your training is, and know approximately 4 processes, good, solid, sound processes, and you understand the foundations of change work, then that's all you need. You see, there's so many people, I've noticed over the 21 years of being in this wonderful world of hypnosis and NLP, there are so many people around coming up with new and wonderful, fandangled new processes never before seen in this world. Now, some of them occasionally haven't been seen, and they are a good development. All the rest, I think, they've just taken the old stuff and put a bit of glitter on it, shined a light on it, changed the words slightly. But when you go into the actual process itself, it's no different from the original ones. So if you have had a good training, and your trainers have had a good training, just look to practice what you know and do what you know. It's awesome when you can do that. I looked at loads of things, but then I came down to, and I've trained with people, what I think is probably the 4 silver bullets. And if you've got those 4 silver bullets and you understand how they work, what they do, so you can adapt them, so you can go between 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 and 1, or whatever, you can go through that repertoire, then you have all you need, because change isn't that complicated. There's 2 big things that happened in my life in this wonderful world of hypnosis. And one is, don't work with what comes through the door. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, don't work with the effect. Someone comes in with, I've got a problem with drinking. No, the drinking isn't the problem. The problem is somewhere below that. Drinking is an effect of something. I'm anxious all the time. Anxiety is not the problem. It's an effect of something. Something is triggering, causing that effect of anxiety. I'm frightened about something. I've got a phobia about something. Well, not necessarily that's a problem. It's a thing to check on. That's your checking and making sure that the symptoms have gone, but they are symptoms. And if you only work on the effect, you'll probably be working with clients over and over again, the same client, and that's no good to anybody. That's not professional. Not in my book anyway. You should be able to work with that client, find the root cause, deal with it, and then check your work. Yes, you can do all your future pacing, but check your work against those effects. Have all those effects, not just the one, all those effects disappeared. Because if they have, boom, because those effects are simply just behaviors, aren't they? A behavior that's triggered by something. And you correct that trigger by learning from the unconscious level, find new behaviors. Keep the intention, find new behaviors to get that intention. Had so many clients where they come with a particular problem, which is the effect. We work on something different, the root cause, and boom. Not just that effect disappears, but their whole life changes. All the different contexts in their life where that effect did affect them, maybe not to the degree or the intensity, but it was still there. Everything changes, and their beliefs around that change. So if you can do that, that's one. Don't work with what comes through the door. Take your time. Use your skills on questioning. If you're into NLP, it'll be meta questioning. And then when you fully understand the problem and get to the root cause and get to the positive intention, the reason why your unconscious mind or their unconscious mind is creating this, keep the intention and find the process that's going to find and lead the unconscious mind to learn from that root cause and find appropriate new ways, new beliefs, new emotions, and new behaviors. And those processes, they are really simple. And as I say, if you've been taught well, you've already got those processes now. All you have to do is learn them. You don't need to look any further. You don't have to keep chasing that little shiny light, because if you've got those silver bullets, you're there. Just get good at what you know. And the other thing, you're now a master of what you know. Now, the big thing is to trust in what you know. Trust in your unconscious mind. I can remember how I learnt this. I was working with a client, and as they were talking to me doing the personal history, the deeper we got, the more I was saying to myself, what the? Carry on with the expletive. I hadn't got a clue what to do. I didn't know the problem. And I was about to say, do you know what? I'm sorry, I don't think I can help you. But something inside me just said, Cluffy, shut up. Just shut up and listen. And I said to myself, I really don't know what to do. What is the best, or the next best question I could ask? What is something I could ask to find the right process? And as I, in effect, stood beside myself, I watched myself sitting in the chair saying some wonderful words. A lovely question came out of my mouth, and the client suddenly gave me the answer, and the process suddenly came into my mind. We did the process, and boom, everything just happened. Because there's so many people who, and this is where I got caught in the very beginning, that you have a process in mind. This is a phobia. I'm going to do the fast phobia method. Oh, I've got this anxiety. Oh, I'll do a parts of negotiation. Well, they're all wonderful processes, but if you have a process in mind before you start, you're not honouring the client and you're not honouring your or their unconscious mind. Talk to them, listen to them, ask them the right questions to find the right process. It may not be the one you had in mind. I've had so many times when I was going to work with a phobia and the phobia was in effect, the fear was in effect, but the phobia model just wouldn't have worked because the phobia wasn't the problem. There was something else triggering that fear, triggering that phobic reaction. So just trust in yourself. Just keep asking the questions and asking yourself, I wonder what's that one question if I ask that one question that would make the difference. And lastly, just one last little thing before you see a client. I think it's a good idea to set your intention. I'll say that again, to set your intention and set your state before you meet them. I have this little habit that I do, and it's a ritual, I guess. Before every client, I just ask myself, what would it be like to have all the skills, all my learnings that I've ever learned, have them available to me to work with this client and make the most dynamic change in this client and do it all within X amount of minutes and to learn from that so I can have even more for the next client and enjoy every moment with this client. And when I do that, I've set my intention and my state is now a state of curiosity and confidence. Confidence I'm going to find the result, but curious enough to make sure that I just find it. And also that trust. You put them all together, boom. You will enjoy every moment. You will be in that bubble, the metaphoric bubble of where it's just you and your client exist. That's when you know, or I think, that's when you know you're really in the flow, in the zone. It is as if everything disappears. Just you and the client. And it's not magic, but it is magical. And that's what makes, my 21 years magical, and hopefully they'll go on for a lot longer. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you didn't think I was preaching. I just wanted to share some thoughts I had. If they resonate, they'll resonate. All I know is for a majority of my 21 years in this lovely way of working with people, change work, seeing people change, as I say, magically, as if by magic. But hey, you were there, part of that magic. You were part of the moment. And it's awesome. And they are just a few things I've learned. But I've just tried to distill it into some simple ways to get results. So hopefully you'll take that the right way. It's just my way of just sharing with you. And I hope you get, all the results and better than I have and will do. Just keep improving by mastery. Doing what you know, knowing what you do, and trust in you and your unconscious mind. It's all you need. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to get in touch with me, please do. You can either go through my one website, which is paul@paulclough.co.uk, or you can go through the podcast, which is feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. I'd love to know your feedback, your experiences. And if there's anything I can help, because I'd love to do another podcast if anybody would want one. But hey, 21 years. Here's to the next. Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that podcast, because this is me, Paul Clough from Personal Development Unplugged, where I'm just trying to deconstruct, as they call it, deconstruct the complicated so we can make life easy and richer. So our return on the effort and investment that we put in is magnificent. And you can have fun doing it. That's the main thing. Have fun and getting better each time. So if you enjoyed this episode or any other episode, very first thing I'd love you to do would be to pay it forward and share it with anybody and everyone you know. Wouldn't it be fun if you just sent it to everyone you knew? That would be fun, because that's the way of this integrated field of learning where we just share everything we know. Someone will get the golden nuggets. They will, and their life will change, and you'll be the cause of their life changing. That would be awesome. Secondly, if you could just subscribe, because subscribe buttons do help. They help you to get the episodes on your platform of choice when they come out. No problems. You don't have to think about it. Off they come, ping, you get it. That would be awesome, because that helps with just the rankings in all those platforms. But also, if you ever get a chance, maybe just a little review. Hopefully it would be a 5-star review if you're putting a review up. But a nice review would be good. Again, that helps the ratings, which means if people get to see it because it's been rated better, it means they've got a chance to take the little golden nuggets that you would have shown and shared, and they get to get better too. And in all of that, we're doing 2 wonderful things. One is we're doing things that are good for you, they're good for others, and good for little old planet Earth. And secondly, we're leaving everybody and everything in a better place than when we first met them. And that includes little old planet Earth. Okay? Anyway, until next time, enjoy every heartbeat. Bye-bye.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.